Okay, well, welcome back. Over the last few weeks, we've talked about incorporating your new company and what sort of shape that might take, what kind of business that might be. For example, is it a lifestyle business? Is it a systems integration business? Or is it a high-tech startup? And all of the other types of businesses in between. We've also talked a little bit about taking on investors, certainly from the point of view of the capitalization table and how that might play out over time, and also how to keep records and make sure that the business is organised, which in turn will help with things like due diligence and actually helping you grow your business more quickly. In this chapter, chapter 8, I talk about the sort of organisational structure, the organisational chart of the company. Now, of course, when you start, you'll be pretty much doing everything. You'll be very busy as a founder in all aspects of the business. So I think it is useful to think about the organisational structure of your business as you're about to grow. And it's worth doing this right from the start. So although you as the founder will probably be doing pretty much everything, think a little bit about what the different functions are within the company and who might be doing these in the future. And these, frankly, will be the traditional functions that we're all used to. So you'll have your board of directors, you'll have your finance department, who will be largely responsible for the banking and the budgeting and the forecasting. And you'll also have your human resources department, who will be responsible, of course, for your staff. Operations tends to fall into the general day-to-day business activities. So an operations department might take care of things like travel, of IT, and also of some of the other functions that might be precursory to your business, such as legal and general maintenance. Then I think you'll have a marketing department, and obviously this department will be looking after the branding and the message that your company projects, but also creating all the usual leaflets and marketing collateral that you'd expect to see as you grow the business. And that's slightly different to the next function, which is business development, and these people will be focusing on creating alliances, joint ventures potentially, but also just general partnerships with your suppliers and your future customers. And that's slightly distinct from sales, who will be going out looking for specific customers and trying to sell your products and services straight to those. Another department you might have is production. This is obviously a manufacturing type of activity. So anywhere where you're producing something, and that can be software or hardware, it can be devices, it can be widgets in general, you'll have a department responsible for the quality assurance and for the construction and, in some ways, the design of what needs to be put together, and probably the packaging as well. And that's slightly different from the research and development or R&D department, who will be looking at future products and future services and how new technologies might be used, or, for example, how your product range is going to expand in the future. And then finally, you may have a customer services department. So these will interact with your customers, very similar to sales, but really it's an after-sales function. So in this case, customer services will be looking after the customer, dealing with warranty returns, quality issues, questions and answers, and so on. And those departments are really all functions, and everybody in the department needs to see different types of information within the business. Not everybody in your business needs to see everything, and certainly not everybody should see everything. There's going to be confidential information, there's going to be privileged information that perhaps only the board of directors and managers are going to see. And of course, there's privacy issues around staff and salaries and appraisals and so on. So by setting up your business in the form of departments and thinking a little bit about the functionality, what you're actually doing is you're helping your business grow in the future, because when you take on a new member of staff, it's pretty likely the new member of staff will have one or two of those functions. They'll fit into one of the departments. And therefore what you can do is make sure that they see the information within the department that's relevant to them, without them having to see everything and without you having to worry about whether they can or cannot see different types of information in the business. And the way you achieve this, and the way I describe this in my book, is that you create the department structure from the beginning, and you mirror that on, for example, your server, your IT system, so that as you're creating new information, you're putting those in the early stages in the relevant folders. So anything to do with sales goes into the sales folder, anything to do with business development or new partnerships goes into the business development folder. And then when you take on a new member of staff, they're given access rights to those particular folders, and therefore they see the information that they need. And actually this saves an awful lot of time, because it means that you're not trying to copy and paste different bits of data across to your new employees so that they can hit the ground running. Instead, you're introducing them into a company that already has a structure in place. And as you take on more staff, so you'll find that this is a much smoother, a much easier way to facilitate that growth that you're after.